I'd like to play a game. I want you to turn out the lights, close your eyes, and try to walk across the living room without stubbing your big toe. You can do this, or you can check out my new Saw 10 review. The choice is yours.
Welcome back to ML Miller Frights. I'm ML Miller. Before we begin, please do me a favor and punch that like button down below. Share this video with all of your social media addicted pals. Click subscribe to this channel and ring that bell for notifications. It's almost time, kids. The clock is ticking. Be sure to tune in every day in October for my annual Best in Horror Movie Countdown from October 1st, 2022 to September 30th, 2023. Don't miss it. And don't forget to wear your masks. The clock is ticking. It's almost time. Saw 10 is new in theaters this weekend from Lionsgate. It's directed by Kevin Greutert and written by Josh Stolberg and Pete Goldfinger. John Kramer is back, well, sort of, as the latest Saw film takes place somewhere in between the events of Saw 1 and 2. It's not exactly the 10th Saw movie either, as the series seems to not consider Spiral with Chris Rock as an actual Saw movie. So really, this is Saw 11. But that would mean we wouldn't get the cool Roman numeral X for the title, so let's go with it. All that aside, Kramer is given only a few months to live from his brain cancer diagnosis, so he gets busy planning revenge on anyone who makes his list. Kramer is given hope when he hears about a miracle treatment not available in the US. Kramer tracks down this rogue group of doctors who promise a cure, but he has to get to Mexico to do it. Once there, he meets lead physician Dr. Cecilia Peterson, played by Siobhan Makodi Lund, and her associates, and undergoes surgery after his second check clears, of course. But as he awakens from the operation, Kramer realizes he's been scammed, so he, of course, gets jiggy with it, capturing the scammers and placing them into complex machinations and forcing them to make hard decisions with their lives hanging in the balance. Saw 10 is a Saw movie. It's the longest Saw movie to date, and during that screen time, filmmaker Kevin Greutert, who directed Saw 6 and Saw the Final Chapter, as well as edited the first 5 installments of the series, actually delivers a solid story arc for Kramer. Saw 10 takes some time to give some nice moments of character for Kramer, where the previous films chose to focus mainly on the torture devices and the victims wriggling around inside of them. I love the little bits like John taking some time in the park to scribble new death devices in his journal. There are some small moments between John and returning character Amanda, played by Shawnee Smith, who worships John having survived one of his traps, that do resonate. It's the moments of this sort in this new movie that sets it aside from the rest, as it fleshes out the character of John Kramer in ways the previous films didn't. But don't worry, there are plenty of torture traps in Saw 10. Some of them, like the first eye torture sequence, are ingeniously fun, while others, such as the final trap, is just kind of goofy. How John is able to whittle these traps together so quickly has been the mystery none of the Saw films has gotten to the bottom of. As usual, each Saw movie fancies itself a mystery, with the stories seemingly written backwards from some kind of shockaroo ending. Saw 10 has a few twists and turns. It wouldn't be a Saw film without it, but once again, none of them beat the twist that occurred in the original. The twist ending, that John and Amanda survive, isn't really a twist in Saw 10, as we know they live on to star in multiple Saw films set after the movie. So the stakes aren't really as high here, but honestly, I was so caught up in the action and simply interested in how Kramer would survive rather than if he would. Sure, it's contrived, and in no way would Kramer be able to predict the moves of so many people that far into the future in order to prepare for what occurs in the climax, but Kramer's gift of foresight has always been the MacGuffin that keeps this series going. So again, Saw 10 rings true to form as far as Saw movies go. The script will never be Shakespeare, the plot will always be over the top and implausible, but the formula at this point has been developed, and Saw X sticks to it. If I'm honest, I've never been a big fan of the Saw movies. I've seen most of them, but I don't think I've seen all of them. And maybe I'll revisit each one sometime in the future. I do understand why people are so in love with this series, since I'm a 80s slasher franchise lover myself and get super excited as every new installment approaches, even though I know I'm probably going to be disappointed. At least the Saw franchise and the people behind it don't do some stupid shit like try to send them into space or into another city or reveal John Kramer is actually some type of alien worm or anything like that. I guess in that case, Spiral was the Halloween 3 of the Saw series, but I'm glad that people have recognized the formula and they've stuck to it for so long. I wish the Friday the 13th, Texas Chainsaw, and Halloween franchises would try the same thing, rather than try to reinvent the wheel. So I get why people are diehard fans of the Saw series. I overheard a dude sitting behind me in the theater saying, "I think Saw is my religion." And I get it. I really do. These kids probably grew up watching Saw every year, just like I did with the Friday the 13th series when I was a kid. And despite the many flaws in the Friday the 13th series, I love them all to this day. Except Jason Goes to Hell. Seriously, fuck that movie. Bell is getting pretty old, or at least he plays a pretty sickly old guy pretty well. I hope he stays in good shape, as I'm sure with the success of this film, we'll be getting more. And I'm glad Lionsgate are keeping the Saw franchise alive, and Tobin Bell seems willing and able to play John Craver for a whole bunch of movies that occur in between the originals. I had a good time with Saw X. Aside from the little character moments, there isn't much new, but the folks behind and in front of the camera deliver the essentials that made Saw popular in the first place pretty well. It'll never be better than the intimate and shocking first installment. The Saw franchise has grown much too big and bombastic for that, but the crowd I saw it with was entertained, and damn it, I guess I was too.
You're doomed to live the life you're meant to be, stuck inside your reality. You're doomed. Oh, you're doomed. You're doomed. You're doomed. Live the life that you are meant to be. To live inside that